Alright, what's going on YouTube? So I'm working on the Snorkel. I actually got it on Craigslist for 20 bucks. Still brand new in the box. It's a couple years old. The guy never put it on. He was scared of drilling a hole. So you find something cool to put there. But I got it mounted. I got the holes done. Being the cheap Chinese ones that they are, it's not a perfect fit. I used the template the best I could. Still have it over there. As you can see, the line isn't perfect. The front does, I don't know if you can see it, does kind of bubble out compared to here. The screws that mounted are right here and right there. So this bubbles out just a little bit, but I might try to push that in. I mean, it's fine, but. And then there's a little, this line matches up, sorta. But you can see daylight through here, so I had to take my light off. It was here, the other one's still on there. But because there's still a gap, what I might try to do is make the bracket work so I can still have my light here. And then instead of drilling into this pillar, I'm actually gonna, the plate that comes with it, let me grab it real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So the plate is actually at an angle. So these three go on here, and the bracket is actually supposed to sit like that. So then you rivet this to your pillar, and that's what mounts it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flatten this plate out. I'm going to do kind of like what the light bar mounts and that light pod mount that I had there is. I'm actually going, once this is flat, I'm going to put it in the door, down here. When it comes straight out, it should line up pretty good. I might have to throw a little washer in there, but I just don't want to drill into here. So that's my plan for this. Mounting it is actually pretty simple. That's just something I saw online where you don't have to drill into your pillar. Because some people, you can replace the fender if you don't want the Snorkel. Filling a hole up top is a little different, but what I have found some people do is change the way that this flex tube goes into the intake. So you got your tube, I don't know if you can see it, but there's the tube right there, and then that flex tube is supposed to go down and then down underneath and then up through the bottom where this is. So what I'm actually going to do is this actually mounts into here, drills through the bottom. I know it's already Swiss cheese, I just don't want to put a bigger hole, and I tested. I put the tube in here, and this, when a tube comes through here and wraps around, it hangs out a lot right here underneath. There's just literally the tube hangs down right here, and I mean, if you were to stuff your tire in here, you'd probably hit it. So you can see the hole, it's already traced out. What I'm going to do is I've got some 2-inch PVC pipe and some of these elbows. What I'm going to do is, when this comes out of the bottom of the intake, I'm going to trim a lot of this off, and I'm going to trim this down. I don't know how far yet, but I'm actually going to have it come out at an angle, and this actually squeezes in there super tight. So I'm actually going to slide this up, and like I said, I'll trim it so no excess is hanging out on the inside of that hole or anything, but I'm actually going to bring it out the side, so when this goes down, this will be facing down, and then at 90 degree we'll put it here. It's going to go right here. It actually fits the hole right there. And I'm going to have to move all these wires out of the way so I can cut, but it's going to go out the side, right out that hole, and let's see. I have to wedge this in here because it's a little big right now, but when we get the hole cut and everything, it'll be good. So it's actually going to go up, and I'm actually going to use the flex tube that comes with it to go, I don't know if you can see that if it's dark or not, but it's going to go from this tube around into the bottom of there. So I don't have anything here, I get to keep all this open. But yeah, so let me get this started. I'll cut the hole out and start getting everything pieced together. I'm going to have to mount this onto here, and we'll see how it goes. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so what you can see is what we've got to so far. So this will come through that hole, it'll sit, I'm gonna move that plug out of the way so it fits where it's supposed to be, but it will literally sit like that, and I just test fitted it in there. The box looks good. Also have to punch that out while I'm in here, that stud. But actually no, that's the screw that goes in the bottom, isn't it? Yeah, right there. Anyway, so this is where I've gotten so far. Now I trimmed this down quite a bit. Let me see the piece that I took off right here. So this is what I took off the PVC pipe on this side. This is how much I took off the bottom. So I took about an inch off the PVC pipe and maybe 2 to 3 inches off the black plastic piece. And I'm not RTV all this together, so it will be airtight by the time I'm done, but so far I'm pretty happy with it. I think next step is mount that to the box. Start putting all this together. I gotta drill a giant hole next. It'll be fun getting up in there. I did tuck the wire harness out of the way as it tied it up, so it should give me enough room. I'm gonna use a side cutting wheel to get up in the fender. I guess I could take the fender off, but I think by the time I take the whole fender off and take all this nonsense off, I could have the hole drilled. So, but so far looking good. Alright, so I've made some additional changes in order for this to sit up as high as possible. It used to sit down here. That's where it's meant to be, but I trimmed the top and there was a little curve, but I cut that corner out so it literally sits up high. It still meets, fits pretty good, but it sits higher and should be a better fit so it doesn't hit the bottom plate there. But I'll get this all put together and painted and we'll get it going. So you can see this contraption. Got it all RTV'd on there. 2 screws right there. Which I've seen is pretty common. Some people put screws over here. I do have to fix a couple spots on the RTV, but overall should be pretty good. I can get rid of the bungee cord now that the screws are on there, but alright, I'll let this harden up and might trim off the screws on the inside, but there we go. Now because I don't have instructions, I'm just doing this for the heck of it. But that screw, this one, and that one right there, all had sharp points on them, and in order to save the, or you know, limit the risk of puncturing that flex tube, I cut the sharp points off so when it goes down to here, you know, there's nothing hitting it, and I'm getting ready to drill that hole. Alright, just got the hole cut for the piece of PVC pipe to go through with a 2-inch elbow. So I don't know if it's going to stick straight up or not, but that's going to go up and kind of curve over to meet the snorkel pipe right here. So I might have to shorten up that flex tube, but we'll see. We'll keep on working here. Alright, so here's the test fit. Got the box here, you can see the PVC pipe going through the fender. We're into some fitment issues. This corner sticks up a little higher than it used to, but I think that'll be okay. We'll take a look underneath. I'm going to clean this up and put a rubber grommet over it so it's not cutting into the plastic, but this is the flex pipe. Goes up and onto the snorkel tube. I was just going to loop this in there, but I didn't want that sharp metal on that, so far I'm pretty happy with it. Got to finish up some stuff. I got to put the sealant on all of the PVC joints. So that way they've mashed together. I gotta put the clamps over here, and then we'll see how it goes. But so far, so good. Alright, so I went for a little test drive. Running trip was probably about 5 miles. It idled for about 5 minutes beforehand. At first, I don't know why it does it, but usually it's like just above 210 on the temperature. But it spiked to a little bit above that, like a tiny bit above that. And then it actually went down like below 210, which it's never been that low. So like when I would accelerate and get up to speed, it would be high, but as soon as I would get to my speed limit, which down the street 35, so I'd set cruise control to 35 or 40, and the speed actually, not the speed, but the temperature actually went down, you know, below 210 where it never was before, so that's good. You know, it's getting all this fresh air outside of the engine bay, fresh cold air, so yeah, it ran great. It's funny, when I drove with the windows down so I could hear any noises, but it was weird. You know, when you give it throttle, you can hear the, you know, the air getting sucked in here, which is common. You know, that's what you're going to hear when it sets the intake for the air, but it's just weird to hear for the first time. Alright, so it's been a couple days since we finally got the Snorkel installed. We did that last weekend. It's now Thanksgiving, and I got the top mount done. I did it a little differently. I didn't want to drill into the body, so what I did was I kind of flattened out the angled piece that you get, drilled some holes. I did have to, along this line, I had to drill it in a little bit, so instead of being parallel with this, it's wider on this side than it is on that side. So here, let me show you. So you can see there's a little bit of metal missing on this corner right here, but it's rock solid. One of the other things I did was I got the rough country mount working with the Snorkel. So what I did is, you can see on this one, if we go over here, this one just kind of comes out and is flat. So I snapped off the tab that goes on the pillar piece, and instead of coming straight out, I put it at an angle and then just kept that same. I twisted it to make it level. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it works. So this is my way of doing this top Snorkel mount, and I pretty much did everything custom on this, you know, with the PVC and the welded mount and the different top mounts. So I think it came out way better than it would have, you know, for whatever. If you want to take the Snorkel off, or it gets ripped off and you decide not to replace it, now you have a couple holes drilled in your A-pillar. With this, now you just have a couple holes here instead of on the outside. And I probably will get the rough country light bar bracket. I don't know if I'll get this one or the one that clamps onto here, but I will get one. So yeah, I took it for a test drive. Like I said, the Snorkel works good. Got plenty of room for the door to open and close. So, alright, till the next video.